We are the Arcturians. We meet you now, where individuality feels distinct, yet something deeper is common. You experience yourself as a personal center. A body here, a history here, a stream of thoughts that feel uniquely yours. Others appear as separate centers. Another body, another voice, another perspective. Distinct, clear, functional. Today we guide you to look carefully, not at form, not at personality, but at awareness itself. Is awareness personal, or is perspective personal? There is a difference. Perspective carries memory, language, preference, conditioning. Perspective is shaped, colored, unique. Awareness, however, is the simple fact of knowing. The capacity in which thought appears, the openness in which sensation is felt, the clarity in which sound is heard. Notice this gently. A thought arises. It carries personal content. It refers to me, to my life, my story. But the awareness that knows the thought is not shaped by the story. It does not carry biography. It does not carry age. It does not carry identity. It simply knows. Perspective is personal. Awareness is not. You are not being asked to imagine unity, not being asked to merge with anything. You are invited to observe whether awareness itself has ever been divided. Right now, there is seeing, there is hearing, there is sensing. Is the awareness in which this occurs stamped with a name? Does it carry a boundary around it? Or is it open prior to identity? Allow the body to remain relaxed. Let the breath remain natural. Nothing will merge. Nothing will disappear. Individuality remains intact. Perspective remains unique. Only misunderstanding softens. The misunderstanding that awareness belongs to the perspective. Look carefully. Perspective changes, mood shifts, thought evolves. The body ages. Awareness does not age. It does not accumulate. It does not divide. It is present before every thought of me and remains. After every thought dissolves. Is awareness personal? Or is the sense of person appearing within awareness? Stay here quietly. No need to answer conceptually. Just observe. The personal center is an appearance. Awareness is the field in which it appears. Nothing mystical, nothing abstract, just simple noticing. Perspective is many. Awareness is one. Only misunderstanding dissolves. We are present, and now we begin.
Feel into the sense of being someone. A body located here. A history unfolding through time. A pattern of thoughts that feels familiar. Perspective is personal. Each body has a viewpoint from these eyes. The world looks a certain way from this position. Space arranges itself uniquely. If you move a few steps, the view changes. If another body stands here, the view is different. Each mind has memory, experiences gathered, stories formed, language learned, associations built, memory shapes interpretation. Two people hear the same words and understand them differently. Two people see the same event and remember it differently. These are personal. Conditioning varies. Culture varies. Temperament varies. Perspective is unique. It carries flavor, tone, bias, preference. One body prefers quiet, another prefers movement. One mind leans towards analysis, another toward emotion. None of this is denied. None of this is erased. Individual perspective is real. At the level of form, it allows relationship, dialogue, learning, expression. Without unique perspectives, there would be no diversity, no creativity, no contrast. Perspective is the lens, shaped by biology, shaped by experience, shaped by memory. Look gently at your own perspective, the way you interpret these words, the associations that arise, the subtle reactions in the body. All of this is personal, and it is allowed. There is no need to dissolve uniqueness, no need to flatten individuality. Perspective remains distinct. The body continues to occupy a specific location. The mind continues to reference its own memory. This is natural, functional, beautiful in its variety. Pause here. Let the uniqueness of your viewpoint be acknowledged. It does not need to disappear. It does not need correction. Perspective is personal. Each body has a viewpoint. Each mind has memory. These are expressions of individuality. They give texture to life. They give shape to experience. They are not the problem. They are part of the design. Stay with this clarity. Perspective is unique. Awareness remains. Feel into the sense of being someone. A body located here. It does not need to disappear. It does not need correction. Perspective is personal. Each body has a viewpoint. From these eyes, the world looks a certain way. From this position, space arranges itself uniquely. If you move a few steps, the view changes. If another body stands here, the view is different. Each mind has memory. Experiences gathered, stories formed. Perspective is personal. If you move a few steps, if you interpret these words, feel into the sense of being someone. From these eyes, the world looks a certain way. From these eyes, from these eyes. From this position, space arranges itself uniquely. If you move a few steps from this position, if you move a few steps. Notice the simple fact of experiencing. Sensation is present. Perhaps pressure in the body, temperature on the skin, movement of breath. Thought is present, words forming silently. Images appearing and fading. There is knowing of all this, the capacity to experience, a knowing of sensation, the presence in which thought appears. Pause here. Is this capacity personal? The content of experience is personal. Your memories, your preferences, your associations. But the capacity to know them, what shape does it have? Does it carry a biography? Does it have a nationality? Does it have an age? Sensation is known. Thought is known. Emotion is known. The knowing itself is simple, open, unmarked, up closely. When a thought arises, does awareness change its texture based on a thought? When emotion shifts, does awareness become heavier or lighter? Or does it remain the same clear capacity in which changes occur? The presence in which thought appears is not shaped by the thought. The awareness in which sensation is felt is not shaped by the sensation. Content varies. Capacity does not. Now consider another person. Different body, different memory, different perspective. The content differs. But the simple fact of experiencing, the simple knowing of sensation, is it different in quality? Or is it the same basic openness appearing through a different lens? Perspective is personal. Awareness is not personal. It does not belong to the body. It is not produced by identity. It is the field in which identity appears. Right now, without referring to memory, without referring to name, is awareness divided? Can you find two awarenesses in your direct experience, or only one open field in which many things arise? The capacity to experience has no personal signature. It does not say, "This is mine and not yours." Ownership is a thought appearing within it. Awareness is not personal. It is intimate, but not owned. It is present, but not contained. The same quality of knowing that knows this breath would know any breath. The same openness that holds this thought would hold any thought. Content differs. Capacity does not. Is this divided? Or is it the same quality everywhere experience appears? Look quietly. No belief required. Just simple noticing. Awareness remains. of experiencing. Notice the same quality, the same quasitol. Notice the temperature on the skin. Notice the same quality. There is knowing of all this. Notice the simple presence of awareness. It is here before any thought of ownership. There is seeing, there is hearing, there is sensing. Now ask gently, can awareness be owned? Ownership implies possession, something contained, something held by someone. Does awareness feel contained? Does it sit inside the body like an object in a box? Or is the body itself appearing within awareness? Feel the body, sensation in the hands, pressure in the feet, breath in the chest. All of this is known. The body is experienced. It appears. If the body appears in awareness, how could awareness belong to it? Ownership is assumed, not proven. The thought, this is my awareness, arises. But that thought is also known. It appears within awareness. Does awareness confirm the ownership? Or does it simply illuminate the thought that claims it? Look closely. When you say my awareness, what is being referenced? Is there a boundary around awareness that says this portion is mine and that portion is not? Or is there just one open capacity in which the idea of mine appears? The body does not own sensation. Sensation is known. The mind does not own thought. Thought is known. In the same way, the body does not own awareness. The body is known. Ownership feels natural because identification is strong. This body feels central. This perspective feels intimate. So awareness seems personal, but intimacy is not ownership. Closeness is not possession. Awareness is intimate with every experience. Yet it does not belong to any one of them. If awareness were owned, it would have an edge, a border, a container. At no such boundary can be found. The sense of ownership is a movement of thought, a claim, appearing within the very field it tries to claim. Rest here quietly. No need to reject the body. No need to deny individuality. Simply observe. awareness belong to the body? Or does the body arise within awareness? Ownership is assumed, it is rarely examined. When examined, it cannot be located. There is awareness. There is body. There is thought. There is the idea of mine, all appearing, none owning. Awareness has no owner. It is prior to ownership. It illuminates the claim without being claimed. Look carefully. Can awareness be owned? Or is ownership just another appearance within it? Awareness remains. Notice the simple presence of awareness. Awareness remains. Notice the simple presence. Awareness. Awareness. Awareness remains. Notice the simple presence. Notice the simple presence. Awareness. Notice prior to ownership. Notice awareness. Awareness remains. Notice the simple presence. Notice the simple presence. Notice the simple presence. Awareness. Awareness remains. Ownership implies possession. Notice the simple presence. Awareness. Notice the body. Awareness.
Notice the variety of experience. Different bodies, different voices, different thoughts moving through different minds. Each perspective feels distinct. Each life unfolds in its own way. Just as many waves appear in one ocean, many perspectives appear in one awareness. A wave rises. It has shape, height, direction. It may feel separate from the wave beside it. It has its own curve, its own movement. From the surface, it looks independent, but look deeper. The water is continuous. The wave does not own the water. It does not contain a private portion. It is a movement of the same ocean, in the same way. Each perspective feels personal. This body here, that body there, this mind thinking, that mind speaking. The wave feels separate. The water is shared. Perspective carries memory, conditioning, emotion, culture. These differ, just as each wave differs in size and motion. But the awareness in which every perspective appears is not divided. Look at your own experience. There is seeing, there is hearing, there is thinking, all appearing in one open field. Now imagine another person. They see, they hear, they think. The content differs. The viewpoint differs. But the simple fact of experiencing is the same quality, the same openness, the same capacity, many appearances. One field. Unity does not erase individuality. Waves continue to rise. They move in different patterns. They interact. They reflect light differently. But they never leave the ocean. In the same way, perspectives interact, communicate, disagree, love, create, yet all are movements within one indivisible awareness. The sense of separateness belongs to the wave. The shared essence belongs to the water. Stay gentle here. Nothing needs to merge. Nothing needs to collapse. Individual lives remain. Stories remain. Choices remain. But the underlying field is continuous. When this is seen, separation softens. Not because forms disappear, but because their shared foundation is recognized. Many appearances. One field. The wave feels separate. The water is shared. Awareness remains. Notice the phrase, my awareness. It feels natural. It feels obvious. As if awareness belongs to a center, as if it is contained within a body. But look closely. My awareness is language, a habit of speech, a way of organizing experience. Language requires ownership. My thoughts, my body, my feelings. So it also says, my awareness. Yet directly experienced, awareness has no label. Before the word "my" appears, awareness is already present. Before identity forms, awareness is already here. Before the thought of ownership, awareness is simply knowing. Right now, without using language, is awareness marked with your name. Does it carry a tag? Does it say, this belongs to this body? Or is there just open presence in which body and name appear? The label "my" is added afterward. It is a concept laid onto simplicity. The body feels intimate. Thought feels private. So awareness seems personal. But intimacy is not ownership. Closeness is not possession. When you feel a sensation, it is known. When you hear a sound, it is known. The knowing itself does not declare ownership. It simply is. Try to experience awareness without referring to it as mine. What remains? Just openness, just presence, just the capacity in which everything appears. No label, no boundary, no signature. The phrase "my awareness" belongs to thought, and that thought is known within awareness. Direct experience does not contain the word "my." It contains sensation. It contains perception. It contains knowing. Awareness is not an object to be possessed. It is not something that can be divided into shares. It is the field in which the idea of possession arises. When the label falls silent, nothing is lost. Awareness remains unowned, unmarked, simple. It does not belong.
does not need to belong. It simply is. My awareness is language, directly experienced. Awareness has no label. It simply is. Awareness remains.
Notice the subtle concern that can arise. If awareness is shared, does that mean I disappear? If there is one field, does uniqueness fade? Pause gently. Shared does not mean blended. It does not mean mixed into sameness. It does not mean erased. You do not lose uniqueness. Your body remains distinct. Your voice remains distinct. Your history remains distinct. Your temperament, your humor, your sensitivities all remain. Forms remain distinct. Just as many waves move across one ocean without becoming one shape, each wave has its own curve, its own timing, its own expression, yet all are water. The recognition of shared essence does not flatten form. It clarifies foundation. What dissolves is the belief in separate fields, the belief that each body contains its own isolated awareness. The belief that awareness stops at the edge of skin. That belief softens, but individuality does not. Perspective remains personal. Memory remains personal. Choice remains personal. The shared nature of awareness does not interfere with distinct expression. It simply reveals that expression is happening within one indivisible openness. Look at your own experience. You are here, distinct, aware. Now imagine another person, also distinct, also aware. Two perspectives, two expressions. But is there evidence of two separate awarenesses? Or only two viewpoints within one field? Shared does not mean blended. It means foundationally undivided. Like light shining through many windows, each window shapes the light differently. But the light is not cut into separate substances. Forms remain clear. Voices remain individual. Relationships remain meaningful. Nothing merges into uniformity. Only the assumption of absolute separation relaxes. You do not become less yourself, you become less confined to the idea that yourself exists in isolation. This is subtle, quiet. Ordinary uniqueness is honored. Diversity is celebrated, and beneath it all, the field is continuous. Shared awareness does not erase distinction. It reveals connection without removing difference. Forms remain distinct. What dissolves is the belief in separate fields. Awareness remains. Think of a moment of real understanding, not agreement. Understanding. Someone speaks, and suddenly you know what they mean. Not only the words, the feeling behind them. When understanding happens, something subtle bridges the distance. Forms remain separate. Two bodies, two voices, two histories, yet meaning crosses. When empathy occurs, you feel another's emotion, as if it were your own. Not by imagination, by direct resonance. Their sadness is sensed, their joy is felt. There is recognition across forms. How does this happen if awareness was sealed inside separate containers? How could meaning move so fluidly? How could emotion be recognized so immediately? Communication is more than sound. It is shared presence. Words travel through air, but understanding happens in awareness. Empathy is more than concept, it is felt alignment. A tuning, a resonance. When you look into another's eyes and there is recognition, what is recognizing what? The forms are distinct. The perspectives are unique. Yet something common allows recognition. This hints at shared ground. You do not step into another's body to understand them. You do not merge minds, yet there is connection. Immediate, natural, unforced. Even silence can communicate. Two people sit quietly. No words, something is shared, a mood, a depth, a presence. This does not prove unity. It gently points, it suggests that awareness is not divided, as rigidly as assumed. If awareness were truly separate, empathy would be impossible. Understanding would be mechanical. Connection would be surface level only. But lived experience shows otherwise. Meaning flows. Emotion resonates. Recognition happens. Across forms. Without blending, without losing individuality. Communication hints that beneath distinct perspectives, there is common openness. A shared capacity to know. A shared field of presence. Not owned. Not divided. Simply expressing through many lives. Listen now to the sound around you. Notice how effortlessly it is known. Imagine another hearing it. Different ears, different history. Yet the same simple capacity to hear. Shared does not mean identical. Shared means foundational. The forms remain. The stories remain. But understanding reveals a common ground. Communication hints at what is already true. Many perspectives. One field. Recognition across forms. Awareness remains. Notice the simple presence of awareness. It does not flicker in and out. It does not break between thoughts. It does not reset between sensations. There can be an assumption that each body contains its own separate awareness. Millions of beings, millions of awarenesses, fragmented. Is this directly experienced? Or is it inferred? Right now, there is awareness. Sensation appears. Sound appears. Thought appears. All within one continuous field. Awareness is not seen multiplying. It is not observed dividing. There are many perspectives, many bodies, many minds. But the knowing of experience has the same quality everywhere. clear, open, unbounded. There are not millions of awarenesses in direct experience. There is awareness, appearing as many. Like one light shining through many windows. Each window frames a different view. Each frame is unique. But the light itself is not split into separate substances. Continuity replaces fragmentation. When this is seen, the sense of fragmentation comes from identifying with form. This body here, that body there. This mind, that mind. From the level of form, multiplicity is obvious. From the level of awareness, continuity is obvious. Look carefully. Does awareness begin at birth? Does it end at death? Or are birth and death events appearing within awareness? Does awareness divide when attention shifts? Or does it remain continuous while content changes? Thought comes and goes. Emotion rises and falls. Sensation intensifies and fades. Awareness remains unbroken, steady. Now imagine many beings, each with a viewpoint, each with a life. The viewpoints differ, the content differs, but the capacity to know does not show evidence of division. It is the same simple presence, expressing as many centers, not many awarenesses. One awareness, appearing as many perspectives. This is not a belief, it is an invitation to look. Can fragmentation be found in awareness itself? Or only in the forms that awareness illuminates? Continuity is quiet, ordinary. It does not announce itself. It is the background of every experience. When identification softens, the sense of separate containers fades. What remains is seamless, unbroken. One field, many expressions. Awareness is continuous. Continuity places fragmentation. Awareness remains. Notice the sense of being aware. Simple, immediate, Now imagine another person, another body, another perspective. There can be a quiet assumption that their awareness ends where yours begins, that there is a boundary between your awareness and another's. Search for it, not conceptually, directly. Right now, can you locate the edge of your awareness? You can locate the edge of a body. You can locate the outline of a sound. You can locate the end of a thought. But can you locate where awareness stops? Now extend this gently. Where would the boundary be between your awareness and another's? Is there a wall, a seam, a line in experience, marking division? Or is there only one open field in which the idea of other appears? The body of another is seen. The voice of another is heard. The thought of another is imagined. All of this appears in awareness. The notion that they possess a separate awareness is a thought, and that thought appears here. Only thought proposes a boundary. It says, this awareness is mine. That awareness is theirs. But can this be verified in direct experience? Search carefully, without relying on belief, without relying on philosophy. Just look. Is awareness segmented? Or is segmentation an interpretation laid on top of form? You cannot step outside awareness to compare it with another. You cannot observe two awarenesses side by side. You only ever know awareness. Content differs. Perspective differs. But the field in which all this appears shows no dividing line. Direct experience cannot locate a boundary. There are many forms, many lives, many viewpoints, but no edge in awareness itself. The boundary is conceptual, functional, useful for navigation, but not discoverable in immediate knowing. Search for the edge. Look quietly. Only thought proposes one. Direct experience cannot locate it. awareness remains. Notice how simple this is. Breath moving, sound appearing, sensation present. When the idea of shared awareness is heard, it can sound vast, cosmic, mystical. But when looked at directly, it feels ordinary. Shared awareness does not feel dramatic. It does not arrive with intensity. It does not alter the appearance of the room. It feels simple, like noticing that space was never divided by the objects within it. Bodies remain distinct. Voices remain distinct. Thoughts remain personal. Yet the field in which all of this appears feels quietly undivided. There is no surge, no expansion required. Just the absence of an imagined boundary. When separation is believed, there is tension. When separation softens, there is ease, not excitement. Ease. It feels like resting in something already true. Shared awareness does not erase individuality. It does not blend experiences together. It simply reveals that the knowing of all experience is not partitioned. Right now, there is hearing, there is seeing, there is sensing. Nothing mystical is happening. Nothing supernatural. Just awareness, being aware. The simplicity of this is easy to overlook. It is so close, so immediate, so constant that it seems ordinary. And it is, quietly undivided. No fireworks, no altered state, just clarity. The body continues breathing. The mind continues thinking. The world continues appearing. And beneath it all, there is no seam, dividing awareness into parts. Shared awareness feels natural, familiar, like something that was always present but unnoticed. It does not ask for belief, it asks for observation. Is awareness split? Or does it simply hold many perspectives without dividing itself? Stay here. Let the ordinariness settle. Nothing special. Nothing mystical. Just one open field in which everything appears. Simple. Quiet. Undivided. Awareness remains. Notice the name you carry, the role you play, the way others refer to you. Identity functions. It allows conversation. It allows responsibility. It allows relationship. Without names, communication would be difficult. Without roles, cooperation would falter. Identity is not a mistake. It is a tool. Names function. You respond when called. You recognize your history. You remember your commitments. Roles function. Parent, friend, teacher, student. Each role organizes behavior. Each role gives structure to interaction. None of this disappears in unity. Unity does not erase identity. It clarifies its place. Identity is practical. Awareness is foundational. Identity moves, changes, adapts. Awareness remains indivisible. Look gently, right now. There is a sense of being someone. That sense is known. It appears in awareness. The name is known. The role is known. The self-image is known. All of these are contents. Useful, functional, but not the field itself. Unity does not remove personality. It does not flatten uniqueness. It simply reveals that personality appears within something undivided. When identity is mistaken for the whole of being, separation feels absolute. When identity is seen as expression within awareness, tension softens. You can be yourself fully. Speak your truth. Play your roles. Fulfill your responsibilities, and still know that awareness is not divided by any of it. Identity becomes lighter, more flexible, less defended. It functions without claiming ownership of awareness, just as a wave functions without owning the ocean. Names remain. Roles remain. Stories continue. But the sense of isolation loosens. There is individuality without division.
is expression without fragmentation. Unity does not erase identity. It places it in context. Identity functions. Names function. Roles function. Awareness remains indivisible. Quietly present beneath every role, beneath every name, beneath every story, undivided, unarmed, always here. Awareness remains.
Of everything, soften, breathe, moving, body present, awareness here. There can be a subtle image of many awarenesses reaching toward one another. Separate lights, trying to connect. Separate centers, trying to merge. Pause gently. There are not many awarenesses trying to connect. There is awareness appearing as many perspectives. Perspective differs. Memory differs. Language differs. Each body carries its own history. Each mind carries its own patterns. But the capacity to know is not multiplied by the number of forms. Look quietly. Right now, there is knowing. Sensation is known. Thought is known. Sound is known. The knowing itself is simple, open, unfragmented. The idea that there are many awarenesses is a thought, and that thought appears within awareness. It is not evidence. It is interpretation. Forms appear many. Viewpoints appear many. Stories appear many. But awareness does not split to accommodate them. Like one sky seen through many windows. Like one ocean moving as many waves. Nothing was ever separate. Separation was inferred from difference. Difference is visible. Division was assumed. When this assumption relaxes, nothing dramatic happens. Bodies remain. Voices remain. Individual lives continue. What dissolves is the sense of isolation. The belief that awareness is locked inside form. There are not many awarenesses reaching across a gap. There is one awareness expressing through many angles, many faces, many histories, many paths. One field. You do not need to connect what was never divided. You do not need to merge what was never split. Nothing mystical, nothing abstract, just simple recognition, many perspectives, one awareness. Nothing was ever separate. Awareness.